Welcome to Dogs Info.
And refuses to leave your side, it might simply be because you smell exactly like home to them, even if you are total strangers. Number 2. Your physical movements. Signal absolute safety. Dogs do not merely watch what you are doing. They intensely analyze exactly how you are doing it. The specific cadence of your walk, how you hold your arms at your sides, and even how quickly you turn your head, all send massive broadcasting signals to a canine. In their world, physical movement matters deeply. If you approach a dog slowly with highly open body language and soft, deliberate steps, they instantly feel secure. Conversely, if you move with jerky, sudden motions, wave your hands frantically, or lean heavily over them, their survival instincts kick in, and they will back away. Dogs are evolutionarily wired to be hypersensitive to body language because out in the wild, anticipating movement is the fundamental difference between life and death. A major behavioral study conducted by the University of Naples found that domestic dogs are significantly more likely to approach a human who displays a relaxed, asymmetrical, and open physical posture. That means if your shoulders are dropped, your hands are unclenched, and your core lacks tension, dogs will officially categorize you as highly approachable. You do not need to speak a single word of their language because your physical body is already communicating flawlessly. When your movements silently declare that you are not a threat, they hear it loud and clear. Number 3. You project a grounded positive energy. Dogs absolutely do not need human vocabulary to understand exactly what kind of day you are currently experiencing. They can physically feel it when you are grounded, internally, calm, and in a genuinely positive state of mind. Dogs pick up on that invisible emotional energy like an antenna tuning into a radio station. You have almost certainly witnessed this phenomenon yourself. A highly anxious, frantic person usually makes a dog pace nervously, while a deeply peaceful person acts like a magnet drawing the dog over to sit quietly by their side. Animal behaviorists have noted time and time again that canines are masterful energy readers, and modern science fully backs this up. A comprehensive 2020 study from Kyoto University clearly demonstrated that dogs can flawlessly differentiate between humans who project confidence and calm versus those who are internally distressed. Therefore, if random dogs frequently approach you on the street, it may simply be because they feel something incredibly stable, reliable, and safe radiating from your presence. They are not just investigating your shoes. They are actively reading your emotional state. And when that energy feels light, welcoming, and kind, dogs simply cannot resist coming closer. Number 4. Your eyes communicate pure kindness. Your eyes say infinitely more than you think they do, especially when a dog is looking at you entirely without realizing it. You might be constantly giving off optical signals that dogs understand perfectly. A soft gaze, highly relaxed eyelids, and gentle slow blinking are all universal canine signs that say, "I am a friendly presence." Dogs are biologically hardwired to respond to this specific kind of nonverbal communication. In their social world, direct eye contact is a massive deal. A hard, unblinking stare is deeply threatening and challenging, but a calm, sweeping look with absolutely no predatory pressure behind it is immensely comforting. That is exactly why timid dogs will actively shy away from people who stare at them intensely, but will happily lean towards someone who just glances their way and offers a soft smile. Respected animal behaviorists have continuously explained that dogs utilize eye contact as a primary tool to gauge human trust, and they are astonishingly accurate at it. You may not even be aware that you possess this gentle, inviting look, but dogs catch it instantly. They see warmth, softness, and perhaps even a hint of familiarity in your expression. Number 5. Your vocal tone hits the perfect acoustic frequency. The underlying tone of your voice matters vastly more than the actual vocabulary words you are speaking. Dogs possess incredibly sensitive hearing, and they do not just process the volume of your speech. They process the raw emotion and acoustic frequency vibrating behind it. A soft, gentle, higher-pitched tone can make a terrified dog feel secure in an instant. It acts as an auditory blanket that tells them they are completely safe in your presence. If you naturally speak in a measured, calm, and melodic way, dogs will very often approach you without a single moment of hesitation. And if you happen to be the type of person who simply cannot resist using a slightly higher silly voice when you see a puppy, you are in luck. They absolutely love that. Scientists formally refer to this as dog-directed speech, and neurological studies show it drastically improves the initial dog-human bonding process. But there is a catch. A loud booming or sharp voice, even if you are just expressing excitement, can send them running in the opposite direction. If a dog avoids someone who yells happily, it is not because the dog is antisocial. It is because that specific acoustic energy feels highly unpredictable and unsafe. When your voice sounds like you are comforting a dear friend, dogs notice and they will follow that sound anywhere. Number 6. You unconsciously respect their personal boundaries. Not every human knows how to properly introduce themselves to a canine. Many people rush directly into a dog's space with their arms outstretched and their voices raised aggressively, trying to pet or hug the animal without earning permission first. But dogs immediately notice when a human is different. They notice when someone patiently waits, generously gives them spatial room, and allows the dog to make the final decision about whether to bridge the gap. If a dog senses that you are absolutely not forcing an interaction, they drop their defenses. This is especially true for rescue dogs or animals carrying past trauma, as they have learned the hard way that not every human is gentle. When you remain perfectly calm, actively avoid hard eye contact, and allow them to approach you entirely on their own terms, they appreciate that spatial respect more than you could ever know. This silent, respectful patience builds a foundation of trust significantly faster than bribing them with treats. You are not aggressively demanding their affection. You are simply offering your calm presence as an option. Dogs heavily favor people who create emotional space rather than people who suck all the energy out of the room. Number 7. You are carrying the invisible scent of the pack. Here is a very simple biological truth. If you have interacted with another dog recently, you are wearing their distinct scent on your clothes like an invisible badge of honor. And dogs notice it the exact second you enter their airspace. Whether it is the lingering smell of a golden retriever you cuddled 3 hours ago or the tiny crumbs of a dog biscuit at the bottom of your jacket pocket, their incredible noses do not miss a single detail. Because dogs can smell 100,000 times better than we can. You are essentially walking down the street as a massive glowing billboard of fascinating old factory information. And to a dog, those specific scents almost always mean wonderful things. Playtime, shared food, safety, and affection. For a curious dog, catching a whiff of another happy canine on your pant leg is more than enough reason to trot over and investigate. It might look like they are just being overly affectionate with a stranger, but sometimes it is simply their nose doing all the heavy lifting. You might not have the slightest clue what invisible scent story you are telling, but they are reading every word. Number 8. You are a quiet oasis of calm in a chaotic world. The modern human world can be an incredibly noisy, visually overwhelming and chaotic place for an animal. Honking car horns, dense crowds of fast-moving people, loud sirens, and sudden movements create massive sensory overload. But then there are specific people who carry an entirely different kind of aura, a quiet, steady, unwavering calm. Maybe you happen to be one of those people. You move a little slower, you breathe a little deeper, and you simply do not make unnecessary fuss. Snorts. For a highly stimulated dog walking down a busy city street, crossing paths with you is exactly like finding a soft, quiet patch of green grass in the middle of a hot, chaotic parking lot. You feel incredibly safe, soft, and remarkably familiar. Anxious or easily overwhelmed dogs are naturally drawn to this kind of person like a magnet. It is not necessarily about anything you are actively doing. It is entirely about how your presence feels. This grounding calmness is something their nervous system desperately craves. While other pedestrians are rushing past or reaching out too quickly, you are simply maintaining your stillness. That stillness translates directly to peace. And when a dog curls up gently by your shoes, they are recognizing you as their temporary safe harbor. Number 9. You trigger deep nostalgic episodic memories. Dogs remember vastly more than we usually give them credit for. While they may not recall exact facial features the way humans do, they possess an incredible capacity to remember specific feelings and associations. They remember the deep rumble of a familiar laugh, the exact softness of a gentle hand, and the distinct rhythmic pace of a relaxing walk. Therefore, When a random dog happily approaches you, it is highly possible that you subtly remind them of someone they used to love very deeply. It could be your specific cologne, the pitch of your voice, or the exact way you crouch down to their level. It might be a tiny microscopic detail that they cannot logically explain, but their emotional brain recognizes it instantly. Behaviorists refer to this phenomenon as episodic memory, the canine ability to vividly recall past emotional events rather than just simple repetitive routines. This is exactly why a dog will react to a total stranger with the overwhelming enthusiasm normally reserved for a family member. You may logically know that you are a stranger, but to their emotional memory, you feel exactly like an old friend. Number 10. You maintain a non-threatening physical silhouette. The actual physical shape you cast in a dog's environment plays a massive role in whether they decide to approach you or avoid you. Humans are naturally tall vertical creatures. And when we stand squarely facing a dog with our shoulders broad, our silhouette can appear incredibly imposing and predatory to an animal that is only 2 feet tall. However, some people naturally unconsciously adjust their physical geometry when they see an animal. Instead of towering over them, you might naturally angle your shoulders slightly away, shift your weight to one hip, or immediately stoop down to a low crouch. By doing this, you are instantly shrinking your physical silhouette and completely removing the spatial pressure that causes dogs to feel trapped. A dog walking past you instantly calculates that you are presenting a passive, non-confrontational profile. Because you do not look like a predator preparing to pounce, their flight or fight response remains completely dormant, allowing their natural curiosity to take over and guide them right to your feet. Number 11. You subtly mirror their biological rhythm. One of the most fascinating reasons a dog might choose you out of a bustling crowd is that you are unconsciously mirroring their internal biological pace. Dogs are highly sensitive to the rhythmic flow of the world around them. When a dog is out for a leisurely happy walk, their breathing and their physical gait fall into a very specific relaxed pattern. If you happen to be walking down the same street at a similarly relaxed, unhurried pace with a steady rhythmic breathing pattern, the dog's nervous system registers you as being in sync with them. This is a profound psychological concept known as co-regulation. You are not marching aggressively and you are not moving erratically. Your physical rhythm perfectly matches their comfortable baseline because you are moving on the exact same wavelength. The dog views you as an extension of their own peaceful state. They are drawn to you because interacting with you does not require them to shift their energy or raise their guard. You already fit perfectly into their current vibe. Number 12. You display neutral, welcoming micro-expressions. We often focus on our big, obvious physical gestures, but dogs are absolute masters at reading microscopic facial expressions. A dog can easily detect the tiny, almost invisible muscle tension around a human's jaw, the slight furrowing of an eyebrow, or the rigidness of a forced smile. If you are a person who naturally walks around with a highly relaxed face, a soft, unclenched jaw, and a genuinely neutral expression, dogs read this as the ultimate sign of approachability. They do not see the hidden stress or the sharp predatory focus that many busy humans carry on their faces throughout the day. Instead, your face acts as a blank, welcoming canvas. Without even realizing it, your lack of facial tension is constantly broadcasting a silent message that you are a safe, undemanding presence. When a dog looks up at you and sees a face that is completely free of stress or anger, their social instincts give them the ultimate green light to come over and introduce themselves. Number 13. You possess a natural, unforced magnetism. Finally, there is an element to this that almost defies strict scientific explanation. Some people simply possess a quiet, unforced bond with the animal kingdom that does not need to be taught, trained, or analyzed. They inherently understand animals entirely without the use of words. They effortlessly read canine moods, deeply respect physical space, and offer a calming aura without even trying. You might very well be one of those incredibly rare people. Dogs can sense this innate magnetism the very second you enter their environment. You do not have to do anything flashy or loud to get their attention. You never bribe them, and you never beg for their affection. You simply exist in the space and they are naturally drawn to you like gravity. This natural affinity is a beautiful, undeniable energy. Perhaps you have grown up around dogs your entire life. Or maybe animals have just always gravitated toward you for reasons you could never fully explain. When a random dog chooses you out of a dense crowd, it is because you never try to change or control them. You simply meet them exactly where they are, and in return they trust you completely. And there you have it. 13 powerful, fascinating reasons why dogs might inexplicably choose you out of a crowd. It is not magic. It is a beautiful biological connection. It is your unique scent, your gentle voice, your unwavering calm, and your welcoming energy. So the next time a strange dog runs up to you with a wagging tail, just know that their instincts told them you were one of the good ones. We would absolutely love to hear your stories. What is the name of the dog who naturally gravitated toward you? Drop their beautiful name in the comments below. You wake up at 2 a.m. and there they are, pressed heavily against your side, breathing in perfect rhythm with.
Thank for watching and like and subscribe share please.